Neil from Spark Angels here, and I released a video a couple of weeks ago saying that we were seeing an increase in, as they announced iOS11 and all the spangly new features that it will offer in September, I might add. A lot of people going out there and downloading it from dubious kind of developer sources and putting it on their phone, and it ended up being a complete melee and loads of problems. So we've offered the service a few times where we revert the phone back. So my point on that video was the fact that if you're going to use a beta, go to apple.beta.com or beta.apple.com, one of the two, and that'll allow you to get on the public beta. But we knew that it wasn't out until the end of this month anyway, so anything that had been upgraded to iOS 11 before that was pretty dubious. Anyway, yesterday they announced that the public beta for the iOS 11 was released, and I jumped on it on my iPad. So, like I said, if you know the source and you're going to do it through apple.beta and sign up to their beta, then that's great. You still run the risk of problems and and errors, but that's what a public beta is for, is that you're testing their software for them. So I didn't do it on my phone because my phone is key and it runs the business, and well, I run it with that. But my iPad is not quite so important. So let me run through, literally I've just picked it up and had a quick play. Let's show some features. So, I mean, it took a while. One thing that they, well, that's quite interesting. This is quite new as well. So one thing that they announced on iOS 11, when you go on the public beta, it actually says you need to back up your device to a computer first, and then archive the backup, and it will teach you how to do that. That's key, because if you don't do that, you may not, if you don't rely on an iCloud backup for this beta software function, stick it on an I always have this updated into iCloud, and I run it on my computer last night to make sure that it updated. It took ages, but it's well worth it. So last night I had this update to iOS 11 on the public beta. Let's have a look. Where are we? Just to show you. So the software update, iOS 11, your software is up to date. So this means that I am part of the public beta. You sign up using your iTunes account, and then you go onto the device you want it to link to. You could do it to your phone, but like I said, it comes with risks. It could bomb out, it could stop working. You are testing the software for Apple, so just beware that I wouldn't put it on an absolute critical device. Few app changes, look, sort of the icon there. Now I'm literally going through it as I see it, so you'll have to bear with me because I haven't read too much about it, I haven't had time. First thing you can see is on the iPad Pro, this is the smaller of the iPad Pros, about a year old now, is that you've got the kind of taskbar at the bottom there, and if you spin it over, you get those as well, and that's pretty cool. You still have your standard kind of app pages, but it allows you I think what happens here is these are your most recent apps shown up in there, and these are the apps including the file, the new sort of file function that you get, but these allow you to kind of put those a bit like your Macs, kind of your Mac icons at the bottom there. So it allows you to do that. It's pretty cool. I like that feature. And anything, if you double press, instead of having loads of that, you've got all the lists of apps here, first of all. So that's quite cool. Massive fan of Micro Machines. If you ever, yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. Bit of blog writing, some business apps, and video editing, as we know, the Insanity video. Oh, huge fan of Farm Simulator. These are all games that, when I do get a spare minute, Casey Neistat on YouTube, great fan. Spotify, love it. Yeah, so these are all the apps, and you've got your file icons there as well. So if you press and hold, it allows you to shut these down. So you can shut them down, or you can press it again, and if you want to open it, say Spotify, up it comes. And then if you go back to the home page, you can see that it's in the most recent. It was anyway. So that's pretty cool. I like that feature. Another feature of the iOS 11 there is if you double press it, you've got these icons down the side as well. So that makes life pretty cool. You can kind of switch on airplane mode, orientation lock, all the functions that you had anyway, but a little bit more easy to get to. And so obviously you've got a volume there. Now I'm half expecting some of this stuff not to work, just because it is a beta version of software, but it seems fairly robust. You've got brightness control, screen mirroring. Screen mirroring. I wonder if that will do to my MacBook. What happens when you press it? Oh, I don't really know. something there. Oh, okay. So it gives you the option. Okay, so if you did have something to mirror it on, like an Apple TV, then you could select it down there, and this would become a feature of your telly. Torch, yeah, Torch works on there. So that's pretty cool. So you can go through you select your apps there. You've got your little running bar there of all sorts of things going on, and you can sort of so you've got in there as well. You've got folders with apps in, so that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, so you can select some of the ones from there on in. That's pretty cool. What else do we have? So along with the public beta software, you get the ability to, I mean, it sends you data back anyway because you're partaking in their, I don't know, you're partaking in their development of their software. So in exchange for getting the software early, you have to put up with the bugs and send feedback. And that's quite cool because when you sign this in, it allows you to send in, it's feedback assistance, so it allows you to send in details. So for instance, if you've noticed a big glaring problem that you've had, you send them a message and they'll get it the other end and fix it, hopefully. So it's a good way of getting the software early. Like I said, only do it through apple.beta.com and only do it on a device that you're not worried about crashing, just in case it does. But yeah, so I'm sure, no, I'll tell you what another thing is, another fantastic feature I noticed. Oh, there, it's just that it's the keyboard. And let's write a note, because there's a fantastic function of the fantastic function of the keyboard that you have here that I've just started to get used to. So for instance, if I wanted to write Formula 1, I would go through the letters, and instead of tapping that to get the numbers up, all you do, and I took to this straight away, you just press and flick up. Oh no, you don't. You flick down. Oh, you flick it down, there you go, and you get the 1. So it is amazingly easy. Once you get used to it, which didn't take me long, you just flick it down and you get the number. How cool is that? So, you know, if you want to write sort of, see, I'm switching to the numbers already, but 250, let's drag that down, that's 250. Or if you want to go pounds, swipe it down, 250, 250. And yeah, so you've got the letters, blah, 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 and you flick it down for the numbers, 340. And it's so cool. And I love that feature, and I think that's going to be so useful. I have no idea what all these other bits and bobs are. I'm just kind of sucking and seeing it. Ooh, okay. So there's a table. So I imagine if you press on that, okay, select the table. Oh my word, look. So you've got sort of add column, delete column. So select the table, add a column. There we go. So you can populate a table a bit like an Excel sheet in Notes. Do you have one way of skipping over? If you hit enter, hit next. Okay, blah 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 blah. Next one. Does it then? It shuttles down. How cool is that? Next. Hey, that's really cool. So you can create tables that you can then kind of reorganize cells and columns. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, you're going through it for the first time with me. What does this do? Scan documents, take photos, photo library, add sketch. Oh, okay. And what if you press on that? So I've got the Apple Pencil, but I imagine that if you decide to do this, you don't really need it. You could do your own thing. That's pretty cool. And if you select that, I mean, these are functions that Notes had anyway. Oh, look, you can move it around. Can you move it around? If I press, how cool is that? So, exciting stuff. So you've got all manner of things that you can do. But I really love not only that kind of table feature, but I love this keyboard, and I think it's really not going to take long to kind of. There you go. So if you press next, it's going to add a new row, and I think if you're populating, it's so easy to select numbers just by flicking down. I think that's going to be superb, especially writing email addresses with the and there's no .com, is there? But I mean, to be honest, it's a gift that keeps giving, because the more I use it, the more I find new functions, unless I particularly get the chance to actually read the software release to say exactly what the differences are. But that's iOS 11 for you. And what I'll do is the more I use it, the more I'll do a few update videos to let you know what the new functions are. So hope you enjoyed that bit of video. Like I said, if you're going to use the iOS 11, if you want a sneak peek at it, do it on a device you're not worried about too much a bit crashing. So don't do it on the phone that you rely on for anything you rely on. Go to apple.beta.com or beta.apple.com. I should really know exactly what that is, and sign yourself up for it and have a look. But like I said, beware. You could be prone to crashing. You know, at the end of the day, you're developing their software for them, which is cool. But just be wary of that. So I'm Neil at Spark Angels. I'm going to continue to have a play, have fun.